Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to get started here in a moment. Thank you for coming today. This is a formal hearing regarding our proposed regulations for spray polyurethane foam. I'm going to just let you know that we are supposed to have a court reporter here to take a record. We are recording this event, so we will use that and transcribe that. If and when the reporter gets here, we're going to take a short break to allow that person to set up their equipment so we can have some redundancy, because it's important to us that we capture everyone's comments very accurately. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Kai Gress, who's going to start this hearing. It isn't a hearing, we're just listening today, and it's an opportunity for you to give us input. I'd also want to let you know that we did extend the formal comment period, so you have additional time. Typically we have this hearing on the last day of the period, but you have additional time through June 6th to comment through our website on CalSafer. So please feel free to do that. We encourage and look forward to your comments. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kai. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. My name is Kai Gress, and I'm with the Department of Toxic Substances Control. I will be the hearing officer for today's proceedings. And first, we need to do a little housekeeping. Please look around you now and identify the exit closest to you. In some cases, an exit may be behind you. In the event of a fire alarm, we are required to evacuate this room immediately. Do not use the elevators. Please take your valuables with you, exit through the closest stairway, proceed to the relocation site at Cesar Chavez Park across the street. Please obey all traffic signals and exercise caution crossing the street. While staff will endeavor to assist you to the nearest exit, you should also know that you may find an exit door by following the ceiling-mounted exit signs. If you cannot use stairs, you will be directed to a protective vestibule inside a stairwell. For the record, today is May 16th and the time is 1:30 PST. Under the provisions of the Administrative Procedure Act, this is the time and place set for the presentation of statements, arguments, and contentions, orally or in writing, for or against the Department's proposal to amend California Code of Regulations, Title 22, Division 4.5, Sections 69502.2 A1C, 69502.2 A1F. This proposed amendment pertains to identification of candidate chemicals under the Safer Consumer Products Regulations approved by the Office of Administrative Law and filed with the Secretary of State on August 28, 2013. The entire proceedings will be recorded. The recording, as well as any exhibits or evidence presented at this hearing, will be incorporated into the rulemaking file and will be reviewed prior to final approval of the regulations by the Department and the Office of Administrative Law. Now, the purpose of today's hearing is to accept public comment. If you would like to speak, please register by filling out the comment card and giving it back to Andrew. Registered persons will be heard in the order of their registration. Anyone else wishing to speak at the hearing will have an opportunity after all registered persons have been heard. Persons presenting testimony at this hearing will not be sworn in, nor will we engage in cross-examination of those providing public comment. The Department will not respond to comments made today, but will address all comments in writing and include them as part of the rulemaking record available to the public. We ask that you restrict your comments to the regulations being considered today. If you have a written comment you would like to submit, please give that to Andrew before you leave. Persons who do not wish to speak but would like to indicate their presence at this hearing can do so using a participant sign-in sheet on the table near the front door. The participant sign-in sheet will be used to notify you of any post-hearing changes to the proposed regulations. Please note that, unless you specifically request notification by mail, we will be using the email addresses on the sign-in sheet, on the comment cards, and those provided with written comments to notify interested parties of any post-hearing changes to the proposed regulations. After the close of this hearing, you may present hard copy written comments to us at this location, 1001 I Street, 12th floor, Sacramento, California, 95814, until the close of business, which is 5 p.m. on June 6th. Or you may submit written comments to us through the Safer Consumer Products Information Management System, also known as CalSafer, until 11:59 PST on June 6th. Copies of the proposed regulations and public notice are on the table near the door. This regulation was duly noticed in the California Regulatory Notice Register, and copies of the notice, proposed regulations text, and the eyesore were made available to interested parties who requested such notice. Additional copies are available through the department's website and at the department's headquarters office, regional offices, the state library, and depository libraries. Again, people wishing to speak at this hearing need to register as witnesses. If you have not yet registered and wish to speak, we ask that you do so now by adding your name to the sign-in sheet at the back of the room and filling out a comment card. Testimony will be heard in the order of registration and be limited to 3 minutes. And Deichla at the front will be holding up signs indicating when you have 2 minutes left, 1 minute, and then the red sign means please stop. To enable the audience to hear and to ensure that your comments are entered into the record, we ask that you come to the front and speak into the microphone when called. It would also be helpful if you start by stating your name and please spell it out, and the organization that you represent. We also ask that if you have written comments to submit along with your oral comments, either limit your oral comments to those not covered in your written comment or summarize your written comments. And at the end, please again give Andrew a copy of your written statement. With that, let us begin to hear comments on the proposed regulations. And the first witness who has registered to testify is, thank you, Stephen Wernig with the American Chemistry Council.
It's Stephen Wironi, and I'll spell it S-T-E-P-H-E-N, and the last name is Wironi, W-I-E-R-O-N-I-E-Y. So my name is Stephen Wironi. I'm the Director of the Spray Foam Coalition and Sustainability Activities at the ACC Center for the Polyurethanes Industry. The American Chemistry Council, Center for the Polyurethane Industry and Spray Foam Coalition would like to thank DTSC for holding this hearing, and we appreciate the opportunity to participate and present this helpful information. The Center for the Polyurethanes Industry represents members of the polyurethanes value chain, and the Spray Foam Coalition represents 18 systems houses and 13 other suppliers which manufacture a vast majority of the spray foam sold in California. As you know, we oppose the proposed listing of spray polyurethane foam containing unreacted MDI as a priority product. The proposed listing is not supported by science, and the record fails to demonstrate the potential for public and/or aquatic avian, terrestrial plant, or organism exposure to the candidate chemicals in the product, or the potential for widespread or significant adverse impacts. The department alleges that the expanded use of SPF is resulting in increasing rates of workplace asthma from unreacted MDI in spray polyurethane foam systems. This is not borne out by the NIOSH data, nor presented by the California Department of Public Health. As we will detail in our written comments, DTSC's hypothesis is incorrect, and in fact, recent data shows a decline in asthma rates associated with isocyanates, in no cases attributable to unreacted MDI in spray foam in California. In its evaluation of SPF systems, DTSC has ignored manufacturing and use practices that mitigate exposure. DTSC did not consider engineering and administrative controls that limit exposure to an acceptable level, and did not properly evaluate the frequency, extent, level, and duration of the potential exposure associated with different spray polyurethane foam products. DTSC is actually proposing to regulate multiple distinct SPF products as one generic product, referred to as SPF systems. These products have different uses, application methods, potential exposure scenarios, and should be treated as different products. DTSC must individually determine if these products meet the prioritization criteria and individually assess the cost, burden, and benefit associated with listing them. Spray polyurethane foam is an effective and proven building material with proven building material with a 40-year track record of success. Industry has made a robust commitment to product safety and stewardship, and this industry has created high-quality training materials, outreach programs, applicator certifications, detailed product instruction and videos in multiple languages to provide information to users of these products. Spray polyurethane foam increases energy efficiency, which in turn reduces greenhouse gas emissions in California, aiding the state in meeting its climate and energy goals. We urge the state to acknowledge SPF and that helps fight against climate change, and that subjecting them to unnecessary regulation or even discouraging their legitimate use will further escalate outcomes we all wish to avoid. California has made commitments to reduce greenhouse gas emissions to 1990 levels by 2020, then by another 40% by 2030, and to double the energy efficiency of buildings by 2030. These commitments require the use of multiple tools, and SPF, an insulation, air sealant, and vapor barrier, is a valuable one. An alternatives assessment for a product with no alternatives provides no justifiable benefit to public health, to the state or regulated entities. DTSC can directly improve public health by reconsidering ACC's offer to partner with the state on increased education and training and other exposure reduction efforts. In conclusion, we urge the department to rescind the listing and work with stakeholders in a way that will benefit all. And ACC plans to submit written comments by the June 6th comment deadline. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Our next speaker is Randy Fishback.
Good afternoon. My name is Randy Fishback, R-A-N-D-Y-F-I-S-C-H-B-A-C-K. I'm with the Dow Chemical Company. Dow opposes DTSC's proposal to list unreacted MDI and SPF systems as a priority product for several reasons. The DTSC has failed to demonstrate that SPF products present the potential for widespread or significant adverse impacts as required by its own regulations. Your own peer reviewer appears to agree with this statement. This chemical product combination is well studied and already subject to robust regulatory control and stewardship programs. Air leaks waste up to 40% of the energy used to heat and cool buildings. SPF allows builders and contractors to air seal and insulate in one time-saving step. As a climate change leader, California should be promoting the use of SPF systems as opposed to attempting to limit its use or require investigation into unproven and undeveloped alternatives. This proposed listing is at odds with the efforts of the California Energy Commission and the intentions of Governor Brown when he set the state's climate goals. The proposal is muddled by the multiple systems available on the market and the unique characteristics of each system. They should be evaluated individually, which Dow feels would show that these products are safe for use. Dow has a robust product stewardship program that includes providing clear labeling, safe handling documents and training, and Dow is a responsible care company. When used as instructed, these products are safe for use and don't need to be regulated under SPC. The Dow Spray Polyurethane Installations business has a report showing building code compliance evaluated in accordance with AC 377, which must provide user training. These evaluation reports issued by ICC Evaluation Service, LLC, are based upon performance features of the International Family of Codes. This acceptance criteria has been issued to provide interested parties with guidelines for demonstrating compliance with performance features of the codes referenced in the criteria. The criteria was developed through a transparent process involving public hearings and/or online postings where public comment was solicited. Under Section 5.2 on installer credentialing, quote, the evaluation report shall state that the installation shall be by professional contractors certified, accredited, authorized, or approved by the report holder or by SPFA, end quote. Dow completes testing to verify conformity with the California Department of Public Health VOC specifications for our SPF insulation products to ensure they are safe as installed. Based on existing product stewardship and industry training programs, the California construction market can and should continue to rely on SPF products to improve the energy efficiency, comfort, and durability of residential and commercial buildings. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Paul Coleman.
Good afternoon. My name is Paul Coleman, Paulcoleman, and I am commenting on behalf of Huntsman Corporation. Huntsman is a global producer of specialty chemicals that is based in the United States. We supply raw materials to the spray polyurethane foam industry. Huntsman opposes the proposed listing of spray polyurethane foam, commonly referred to as SPF, as a priority product by DTSC. Huntsman does not believe that SPF meets the criteria for selection as a priority product. The industry has invested a tremendous amount of time, effort, and money into developing excellent product stewardship programs. These programs have done a great job of keeping SPF contractors safe during the application process. This is supported by the fact that the use of SPF has continued to grow while the total number of respiratory sensitizations from isocyanate use has dropped to extremely low numbers as shown in the CDC data that has been provided to the department. It certainly does not meet any reasonable definition of widespread and significant adverse health impacts. Furthermore, SPF is a valuable tool for California to meet its aggressive energy efficiency goals as outlined in AB 32. In fact, SPF is a trusted and vital product used around the world for insulating buildings and preserving food. An unavoidable outcome of proceeding with this SPF listing is that it will impede its use by creating uncertainty in the market and by raising questions about what the regulatory outcome of this process will be. California should not be fighting to meet its bold energy efficiency goals with one hand tied behind its back. Thank you for the opportunity to speak at this hearing.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Will Lorenz.
Hello, my name is Will Lorenz, Willlorenz. I'm with General Coatings Manufacturing Corp. Out of Fresno, California. As a California small business assembler with 27 employees and less than $10 million in foam component sales, located in an economically challenged Fresno area with limited resources, GCMC formally requests until September 6 to fully comment on the rulemaking's extensive economic analysis and Office of Administrative Law review notice on spray polyurethane foam systems with unreacted MDI. We find this proposed regulation onerous to small business and duplicative to EPA, Cal OSHA, OEHA, and CARB. Second, as we have stated before, this rulemaking improperly combines multiple product chemicals, high-performance 3-pound roofing, high-performance 2-pound interior, high-performance half-pound interior, and several low-pressure products as single generic spray foam systems. Under Safer Consumer Products 69501 through 69503, DTSC cannot proceed forward until it's fully justified that each of these multiple product chemicals has met the rulemaking standard for the potential to cause significant and widespread adverse harm. DTSC has failed to meet this standard for an ameliorated spray foam systems and has misrepresented that these multiple distinct products. As evidence, DTSC in the technical paper modified the EPA chart 2013, which showed separate and distinct spray foam products to combine them as spray polyurethane foam systems. These multiple product chemicals serve different NAICS codes, markets, distribution channels, clients, applications, as well as have unique formulas, performance characteristics, and code compliances. Further, these multiple product chemicals have substantially different but low risk levels, different hazard potentials, unique user groups, different end-use environments, along with different PPE, administrative, and engineering controls. We formally request that DTSC suspend its rulemaking process for the improperly classified product chemical defined as spray polyurethane foam systems with unreacted MDI until it fully meets the Safer Consumer Product standard on potential for significant, widespread, and adverse harm for each multiple product chemical as outlined by EPA. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Will. Our next speaker is Gary Talbot.
Good afternoon. Gary Talbot, Talbott. I'm president of 5-Star Performance Insulation here in Sacramento. We are an insulation contracting firm. We install spray polyurethane foam and all different types of building insulation here in the industry and Northern California and Lake Tahoe area. We are a small green business here, and we've been a spray foam contractor since 2002. We have completed approximately 5,000 projects with spray foam over that period of time. And some of the industries that we use our spray foam in would be in tract homes, metal building industry, agriculture, light industry, and certainly the wine industry as well. So we serve a lot of different communities here in the state. I want to bring up that certainly we're here to raise our opposition in regards to the proposals by DTSC, and one of the items that we feel is needs to be adjusted or redirected is the flawed process right from the beginning. It does lack a lot of scientific support. We were actually here 3 years ago in this building and with a group from the industry and provided additional information that was not only scientifically based, but a lot of good facts in general in regards to the spray foam products that are available on the market. And at that time, we learned that the DTSC got the majority of their information from the internet, which was a little concerning to us. On the health issue, we've done multiple, as I mentioned before, 5,000 plus applications of spray foam. I want to make this perfectly clear. We have no hours downtime from health issues in regards to that. Nobody's ever been sick, nobody's missed a day, nobody's missed an hour of work. So I think that's important to bring up today as well. In conclusion, I think we are already highly regulated. EPA and OSHA already have fundamental guidelines and regulations in place and are enforced over the years. We as an industry have worked hand in hand to make those possible. And again, our safety record is an indication of the stewardship and training programs that we go through on a constant basis. Manufacturers, suppliers have benefited from that as well. So again, I want to thank you for the opportunity to just raise to the issue that the impact that it does have on our industry. Just 3 days after the first announcement of your findings or your proposals were going, I had a major national builder pull out of a contract which caused us to lose between $3 to $4 million worth of work on that particular day. That was 4 years ago. So I'll never forget that one as well. But it does impact. We are a small business here. We do employ people here in the state of California, and we provide a green and service and the opportunity for everybody to have a net zero home. So we thank you again.
Thank you for your comment. Next, Mitch Fine.
Good afternoon, Mitch Fine. With respect to DTSC's definition of the product, SPF with unreacted MDI, the term spray is not descriptive of a chemical product, since spray is a manufacturing process shared by multiple polyurethane end products, including factory-fabricated rigid polyurethane. Spray describes most polyurethane products manufactured by means of high-pressure impingement jets, including products in the automobile transportation sector, medical supplies, packaging, molding, etc. By utilizing the term spray and then exempting the majority of spray PU products, DTSC is differentiating types of SPF products with unreacted MDI based solely on engineering controls, which are at the bottom of the hazard control hierarchy. According to DTSC, however, it avoids the bar of duplicative regulation because even though OSHA already regulates SPF workplace hazards, it is from the perspective of controlling the hazard, not its elimination. But isn't this exactly what DTSC is doing by exempting factory-produced PU on the basis that it's safe via hazard control rather than elimination substitution? DTSC's exemption due to a hazard control analysis is both prescribed by green chemistry and counters DTSC's claim that its regulatory rubric is unique and non-duplicative. Furthermore, DTSC's descent down the hazard pyramid cannot be justified since the majority of all harm, including deaths, set forth in its technical report is attributable to isocyanates in a controlled factory setting. Nevertheless, if DTSC feels that it has regulatory authority to carve out 4 products from the smallest sector of the SPF market on the sole basis of insufficient engineering controls, it still faces the hurdle of demonstrating the potential for widespread or significant adverse impact. This adverse impact is directly contradicted by CDC's surveillance data from California for the period 1993 to the present, with only 2 cases of work-related asthma associated with spray foam, which are both related to box packaging, which has been exempted by DTSC. Per the California Department of Public Health, with respect to the period 1993 to 2008, 73% of all work-related isocyanate exposure in the multi-state surveillance program were out of Michigan. Michigan data, and this is a quote from CDPH, Michigan data is clearly driving the fact that isocyanates were in the top of 10 exposure categories during the time period. Nearly half of Michigan's total work-related asthma cases identified were in the auto manufacturing industry, again exempted by DTSC because of engineering controls. In California, isocyanates are not in our 10 most frequently reported exposures, and per the California Department of Health, never have been. I want to conclude by bringing DTSC's attention to the comments of their independent outside reviewers, Dr. Lockheed and Dr. Nemery. Both have said that the human health data from potential MDI exposure regarding SPF is limited and inadequate. According to Nemery, he basically says the choice of sources quoted to provide evidence for the existence of MDI-induced occupational asthma is somewhat strange and unbalanced. One should acknowledge that the evidence reported is weak with regard to the causal role of MDI. The language used suggests that the evidence is poor or even non-existent. That's your independent reviewer. I asked DTSC to take notice of their external review process and to take that into consideration when they move forward with the prioritization of spray foam. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Our next speaker is Alyssa Stinson.
Good afternoon. My name is Alyssa Stinson. I'm with the California Building Industry Association, and I'm here to, I appreciate the opportunity to speak on this issue today, and unfortunately I've come here to express our strong opposition to the potential listing of SPF. CBIA represents thousands of member companies that include builders, developers, contractors, manufacturers, and design professionals from across the state. Annually, our members bring online 80+% of all new residential construction annually. Collectively, our members are extremely concerned about the chilling effect this will have on the spray foam industry and our ability to utilize this critical product in the new construction market. State policy demands that our industry bring to market homes that achieve higher and higher levels of energy efficiency and greenhouse gas reductions while also being as cost-effective as possible. Spray foam is a critical tool in our tool chest and to achieve those high levels of energy savings and to get to the state's goal of having all new construction zero net energy in the state in the next several years. And this will be nearly impossible should this product be listed. By our assessment, this listing will either drive our members to use less efficient products, which we've already seen happen, or it will drive the price of the product up to a point where that doesn't make economic sense. We are all well aware of the serious housing crisis that we have in California, and we are very concerned that this effort will only add to the skyrocketing housing costs and push safe and affordable housing out of reach for more Californians. We'd urge you to not move forward with this listing and work with the industry and building community on a better approach. Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa. Veena Singla.
Good afternoon, Veena Singla with the Natural Resources Defense Council, VEENASINGLA. NRDC is an international nonprofit with over 2 million members, 400,000 of whom are Californians. NRDC is in support of DTSC's proposal to list spray polyurethane foam systems. NRDC believes that building energy efficiency can and should be accomplished without the use of hazardous chemicals that are potent respiratory sensitizers and toxicants. DTSC presented robust scientific evidence that MDI has the potential to cause significant adverse impacts. MDI is a chemical linked to irreversible and lifelong serious health impacts, including asthma and respiratory sensitization. NRDC sees DTSC's proposal and the Safer Consumer Products process as a win-win-win situation for product innovation and safer building insulation products, as well as building energy efficiency, safer and healthier buildings, and the health of the people of California and California communities. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the registered witnesses. Is there anyone here who would like to step forward and present additional comments related to this rulemaking? Okay, let the record show that no one else raised their hand or otherwise indicated that they wish to speak. Therefore, I am closing the oral testimony portion of this hearing. Let me remind you that you may submit hard copy written comments to the department. You may also give a written comment today to Andrew in the back. You may also submit comments electronically through online CalSafer until 11:59 p.m. on June 6th. Anything else? Thank you again for taking the time to come out and share your perspective.